That place, even your emotion had an echo in so much space. When you out there without care, I was out of tune. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. I hope that you're having the time of your life. Think twice.
Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are well. Welcome to SML TV, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few moments with me here on SML TV. Guys, there's some things we need to talk about, and I think they're important to talk about. Honestly, really, it doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're Zambian living in Zambia or you are a Zambian living in the diaspora. There are certain things that have to bring us together as a people, certain things we have to talk about, certain questions we have to ask that if we do not ask them, they leave us completely divided. Politics aside, I know one of the questions that came up when I posted that I was going to be live at 10:35, and incidentally, have you noticed that I am on time? Usually I'm late, okay, because I'm here at my office and I try to come to you as quickly as I can, but sometimes, life happens. But today I'm on time. I think we're at a place now in our country where we have to have a conversation about a very uncomfortable topic. And this is something that Dr. Kenneth Kaunda tried to suppress, tried to contain, because he knew, Dr. Kaunda knew the adverse effects of allowing tribal talk to run away. When you allow tribal talk to grow legs and it begins to run all over the place, everybody loses, nobody wins. Last night, I happened to switch on my phone and I saw To Ba Kambwili addressing his audience. And he referred to me at one stage during his address, and he said something that sort of made me feel bad because I don't feel that way about him. He seems to be under the notion that I don't like him. He said, "Nangumwari pato muntu." The truth is, I don't dislike To Ba Kambwili. I don't. I dislike some of the things he says, but as a person, I don't dislike him. I've never felt any ill will towards To Ba Kambwili, and he knows that. He knows that to be true. We are standing on two different ends of the spectrum when it comes to the tribal subject of tribalism. He feels a certain way, I feel a different way. When To Ba Kambwili tries to explain what he meant by the things that he said in 2021, it breaks my heart, because here's the thing, guys, and if he were sitting in front of me, this is what I would say to him. I would say to Ba Kambwili, even though you try to philosophize the tribal message, because this is what he was trying to do last night. He was trying to philosophize it. He was trying to say, no, what I meant was that we need to move away from regional politics. regional voting, the way our friends vote. And he was trying to justify the things that he said in 2021. And to be fair, even though there was a component of his concern about the way certain regions vote, the overall message in 2021 was, if you vote for this man, if you bring in this party, you're bringing in a party that touts division. That was the gist of his message in 2021. And guys, this is the reason it's important when history is recorded, read it, observe it for what it is, not for what you think it is. I mean, we were there. I was there in 2021. I remember at one of the rallies, because, these politicians don't realize that in the multitude of words, because they say so many things, and in their minds, they say, no, you cannot isolate the one thing that I said and say that I'm a tribalist. Well, the truth is, you said so many things over the course of the campaign period. They speak, they pontificate, they spew so many different things, and because they're desperate for power, because they're desperate to hold on to power, because they're desperate to cling on to power, in the multitude of words, they err. Balarufianya, amashiwinga ya fula, especially during campaign mode. And they all politicians are susceptible to this. It doesn't matter who it is. All politicians during the campaign, they say things because they're desperate. They're desperate to either gain power or retain it. So my word to To Ba Kambwili is that even though you try to philosophize the tribal message that you preached in 2021, the truth is, you have already planted the seed of tribal bias into the minds of our young people. That needs to sink in. I need that to settle in. I need you to allow that to absorb. I need this statement here to sink into your cerebellum and take root in the recesses of your spirit. When you begin to plant the seeds of tribal bias in the minds of our young people, you think these chaps at Juntawad will listen to To Ba Kambwili philosophizing about, no, what I meant was regional, what I meant was, no, the pattern of voting. You think those chaps at Juntawad, whatever baku Chivoria, ababaku Kanyama, Abakumandevu, you think they'll listen to the philosophizing of tribal bias? When you begin to plant that seed of tribal bias, you're going down the wrong way. It doesn't matter how much you try to sugarcoat it. It doesn't matter how much you try to dance around the issue. It doesn't matter how much you try to tiptoe through the tulips. My brothers, my sisters, when you begin to go down this trajectory of tribal bias, you're going down the wrong way. And every well-meaning Zambian has to stand up against this. Politics aside, forget politics. Who cares about politics? But when it comes to tribal division, every Zambian, every tribe, every political persuasion, you have to stand up and speak up against it. When tribalism begins to rear its ugly head, you chop that thing off with the impunity that it deserves. That's what you do. You lop it off. We're not going to live in a society that stands on the brink of tribal war and tribal conflict. We're not going to do that. There are countries that have gone through that. They serve as a cautionary tale. That's what they do. Countries like Rwanda, They serve as a cautionary tale. And this is the reason. Let me put it up here because, I think this is something that people need to understand. This is the reason Tayali's words must be drowned. Understand that when you say useful idiots, the phrase useful idiots is the same as cockroaches in the genocide of Rwanda. The same way that Tayali and his minions, his cohorts, his band of brothers, the same way that they're using this word that to some of you may sound inconsequential. Some of you, this phrase here may sound insignificant. To some of you, these words are child's play. But when you look deeper and you feel the undercurrent of tribal bias, you quickly understand that this phrase, useful idiots, is the same as cockroaches. To you and I, the word cockroaches just means impemfu. But you go to Rwanda in the 1990s, look back in history and see how this word cockroaches destroyed Rwanda in the 1990s. It was this word that did it. This word here. Now, if you're not a student of history, you wouldn't believe it. You would not believe it. You no, come on, Bamwewa. You mean the way Impemfu can destroy a country? Are you saying Impemfu? Cockroaches? Are you saying that this word can destroy a country? Go back to Rwanda in the 1990s. This is the word that came close to destroying a nation. This is the word that spanned over 100 days of terror that saw millions of Rwandese being hacked, killed in the streets like dogs. Because somebody went on radio and said, kill these cockroaches, annihilate them. I'll never forget, I had a conversation with, and I've shared this story with you. I met some Rwandese about a year ago, last year. I vlogged it, actually. If you look through my vlog, I met them they were business people. I met them at the Pamazi Hotel, and we were talking. We were having breakfast. I recorded this. It's on my Facebook page. And being curious, this was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half. I mean, these were people that live in Kigali. They grew up there in the city of Kigali. And I asked them, I said, tell me, is these two Rwandese gentlemen, Rwandese citizens, I asked them, I said, tell me, brothers, what happened? What caused the people of Rwanda to go through that nightmare? And they began to narrate the story of how this person went on the radio and started talking in this fashion. Of course, there was a crisis, in the country. And the phrase, the line, the phrase that he used in describing the genocide of Rwanda shook me. He said, my brother, it was as if the devil himself came up out of the ground and entered our hearts as Rwandese. And then all of a sudden we started to kill each other. It was as if the devil himself entered our hearts and we began to kill each other. Are you hearing me? So whenever someone begins to use sentiments that border on trying to divide the nation, as insignificant as it may sound, those words have far-reaching consequences. My brothers and sisters, whoever you are, stay away from that. Stay away from tribalism. Sure, we all have biases. Sure, we all have, sometimes it's playful banter. You know, the Easterners and myself, we've got this playful cousinship that we enjoy, and I wouldn't change it for the world. That's different. Playful banter is different. But when you have an insidious sentiment that is rooted in tribal bias, that's dangerous. That shouldn't be played with. That shouldn't be toyed with. So anyone, any purveyor, any advancer of the message of separatism on a large platform, on a wide scale, should be snuffed out, should be stopped, should be cautioned, should be caged. Because we only have this one country. I'm not running away from here. I love it here. I'm not doing that. I've been to America, even though they sent me back. I've been to Europe. I've been to other parts of the world. I would rather be here than anywhere else. So I don't want to be in a situation where I have to up and leave to be a refugee in some other country because of tribalism. This is my home. This is where I was born. This is where I will die. And I will be damned if I allow you guys, if any other Zambian allows you guys to divide this nation on the basis of tribe. Not gonna happen. Not on our watch. Are you hearing that? You should say something because it's real. Every influencer, and you, Mwebantu, the largest Facebook page in the country, led by Kasonde Mulenga, who is trying to plant the seed of tribalism in this country by legitimizing Wachishimba Kambwili's sentiments. When you call Wachishimba Kambwili a prophet, you are attempting to legitimize the ill-conceived and misguided message of tribalism. How dare you? We're not going to let you do it. You're not going to get away with that. We're not going to let you do that. Every influencer, every citizen, every person, every woman, everybody that names the name of this country as their own, stand up and protect it. Stand up and protect it and say, no, we're not going that way. We don't want to go down that road. We don't. Boom. All right. That's what I had to say to you. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you so much. Bye.